I'm going to show you the one exercise that actually helped me lose belly fat and keep it off. There's no gimmicks. This actually works. I use it with all my clients, and I'm going to show you how. But first we need to talk about the main problem. This jar represents your total daily caloric burns. That's total daily energy expenditure, or TDEE. You might have heard this before. The Skittles in the jar represent your ability to burn calories, or how many calories you're actually burning. So if it's full, that means you're burning a lot of calories. Every time you cut calories, your body shrinks the jar, so there's less space for calories burned, and then you need to cut calories again in order to keep up your fat loss, and eventually it kind of feels like you're starving. You might have also felt that one before. So why does this happen? If you reduce your calories, then you're probably going to reduce your movement, and that means less calories that you're going to be burning. If you reduce your calories, you're probably going to lose a little bit of muscle mass. There are ways around this, and we're going to talk about that, but that means you're going to be burning less calories. If you reduce your calories, you're probably going to have increased stress, increased guilt. It means you're going to be taking in more calories, probably burning less due to some hormone issues and everything like that. So again, less calories. And you can see that as the jar empties, we eventually need to go to a smaller jar, and that means that we're going to be cutting calories again. Eventually, as you cut your calories lower and lower, as I said, you need to lower the jar, you need to have a smaller jar. And so that means that you're barely burning any calories, and you're kind of getting to the end of the candlestick, and it feels like the only way to continue progressing is to starve. Eventually, the jar gets tiny and weight loss feels impossible. But we can reverse all that and literally have you burning calories all day, every day, increasing your calorie burn and making weight loss feel almost effortless. This is all leading into that one exercise that is going to help you burn body fat all day. So what we're going to do is we're going to increase your calories, greatly increase your movement, and have you, again, burning body fat literally all day. Outside of that 1 hour that you're in the gym, you're going to be burning fat, way more often, because the 23 hours that we're outside of the gym obviously takes up a great deal more of our life. And unless you're in the gym 7 days a week, it's even a greater, discrepancy than that. There are other things that are at play in your calorie burn, and I'm going to be talking about those as well. It's not the one exercise, but lifting weights helps you to increase your caloric burn throughout the day and increase your TDEE, which is going to lead to a long-term progress in fat loss, and so that's certainly something that helps. Also is going to be having delicious recipes that you can make. So in the link in the description, in the pinned comment, I have a free recipe book. People really like it. It is meal prep size meals that you can download and have for free. And then here's I think the coolest part is that you don't have to wonder, like, okay, so it's 10 servings. You don't have to measure cups or any of that. I tell you the grams. All you have to do is measure out the grams of the recipe that you made. If it says 435 grams is a serving, then you just measure out 435 grams on your calculator, on your food scale, and then you have a serving right there. So you know exactly what you're putting into your body. Having good recipes are going to fill you up. These recipes tend to be really high protein and lower calories, so their volume is really big. So it's going to fill you up and help you eat less. I know that's not on the energy expenditure side of things, but it is still going to help you eat less. It's going to increase the thermogenic effect of food, the thermic effect of food. Because you're eating so much more protein, you're going to burn calories simply digesting the protein, so that increases your caloric burn all day. And then, of course, you're going to satisfy your cravings because these are delicious recipes. One of the most popular ones on there is the protein mac and cheese. So you're literally eating like a mac and cheese chicken dish. It is delicious, and that's going to help you stay on your goals. So this one exercise that helps you burn calories all day is simply walking. Now, I know that almost seems like, well, okay, but it's not just going for walks. There's so much more to this. It's increasing your total daily energy expenditure through NEAT, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. I count steps in the NEAT formula. Some trainers don't, but I don't know why, because it's not like you're exercising for the majority of these steps. So your total steps, whether you go for a walk or whether you're marching in place or whether you're parking in the back of the parking lot, I know these are kind of cliche things, but they all add up massively to a much bigger chunk than whatever you get in the gym. I also count cardio in these steps just for the daily, expenditure of it. Sometimes I do cardio simply to get the steps. Like I'm not actually counting it as, or cardio isn't really a part of my program, the program that I lay out for clients, but the cardio helps them increase their steps. So, there is cardio in my client's program. It's just trying to get their total energy expenditure up. So if a person can get 12,000 steps or something crazy without doing any cardio, then of course I'm just going to let them do that. If you don't have a walking pad, they're not super expensive. You can get one on Amazon and it'll help you. You can literally watch the game or whatever you do, watch Netflix and be getting steps the entire time. That really helps whenever you are just doing something else and just getting your steps instead of intentionally going for a walk. It's crazy how many steps I get in between sets during my workouts because I'm like pacing around. And again, I know it kind of seems silly or cliche, but just giving every effort, and this is going to take time. This is going to take the building up of a habit. So if you find that it's really hard for you to get steps, that's okay. Just keep on trying. Keep on coming up with other ways of doing it. I have a short list here, and I've already talked about them. But yes, direct walks is obviously going to get you a lot of steps. Parking in the back of the parking lot is going to help you get more steps. I think just going into Target and coming back out usually gets me somewhere around 2,000 steps. I park in the very, very back. Getting up every hour, literally just to take a pace around the office or pace around the house, whatever, that will really help. Marching in place, if you don't have a walking pad and you're watching a game or watching something on TV, marching in place really helps. I know, again, it's kind of silly, but it really adds up into your terms of your total daily energy expenditure, increasing the amount of calories that you burn. Your cardio obviously counts. I think I already mentioned that, and then walking pads and everything, all of those. But there's other creative ways of doing it. And so, if you can think of anything else, listen in the comments. By the end of the day, your jar is full and you have to eat more calories in order to not lose weight too fast. Because if you're losing weight too fast, which might not sound like an issue, then you are going to be cutting into your total daily energy expenditure by reducing your muscle mass. So all of this kind of comes into play. The one exercise that I wanted to talk about is walking. And I know it seems too easy, too much of a cop-out answer, but it really is, I think, the holy grail to you losing body fat and to where it feels effortless. You're not putting so much effort into a single bout of intense exercise where you dread it, but you're burning calories more throughout the day. But then there's also more at play. There's increasing the thermic effect of food by eating more protein and having those recipes. There's building up your muscle mass and weightlifting over the course of time that really adds up for you. And you combine all these things and it really does make it to where, hey, this is why I couldn't lose weight this whole time. I hear this from clients all the time of this style of training is just so different. Instead of just smashing lower calories or smashing a lot of high intensity cardio, it all comes together in order to create this system that just doesn't feel as stressful on you, doesn't feel as sacrificial. You're not suffering nearly as much by going any one direction because you're kind of adding all this up. And I think the heart of it is total movement, and you can really increase that by increasing your steps. There's also some, something to, if you will, fidgeting. But fidgeting, bobbing your head to music, tapping your foot or whatever, seems to be subconscious, or you're having to think about it and just drives me insane. So I just wanted to mention that in case you look it up and you're like, how do I increase my NEAT? Fidgeting is one way of doing it, and moving your hands, talking with your hands and everything. But I don't think it adds up nearly as much as steps. And then something that I've been doing during my walks, and again, I know that's kind of like exercise, but still just counting this all under the umbrella of steps and total movement, is rucking. So putting on a heavy backpack, there's special backpacks for it, but you can literally just start with a backpack and some books, doesn't matter, and adding some weight to you. And as you lose body fat, your calories burned with each step goes down. But if you can add in that weight again with the backpack, for the portions of the day that you're wearing it, you're burning the same calories just at less body fat. So it's a win-win, really.